Imagine a land where the sun bakes the earth, where the scent of lemons and olives fills the air. This is Sicily, an island with a history as rich and layered as its famous lasagna. But beneath this idyllic surface lies a shadowy figure, a specter that has whispered through the ages, the Sicilian Mafia. It all began in the 19th century, or so the story goes. Farmers and landowners needed protection for their goods, and there were those willing to offer it for a price. Thus, the Mafia was born, not in the dark alleys of Palermo, but amidst the golden fields of grain.
Protection? Sounds more like extortion to me.
Exactly, Olivia. It's a fine line between guardian and gatekeeper, protector and predator. And as the Mafia grew, so did their power, enveloping everything like a creeping vine, from the smallest fruit vendor to the grandest of politicians.
How did they become so powerful?
That's the million-lira question. You see, the Mafia wove themselves into the very fabric of Sicilian life. They became the judges and the judged, the law and the outlaw. And as they spread their influence, they created a code of silence, Omertà, that was as binding as any oath.
Omertà?
Yes, a vow of silence that seals lips tighter than a Sicilian tomb. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Our story is just beginning, and there are many layers to peel back, like onions in a Sicilian kitchen.
And I'm sure each layer will make us cry a little, won't it?
Perhaps, but it will also reveal truths that are stranger than fiction. So, dear viewers, stay with us as we delve deeper into the world of the Sicilian Mafia, where history and myth intertwine like the strands of a well-cooked spaghetti. As we peel back the layers of history, we find ourselves in the early 20th century. Sicily is changing, and so is the Mafia. No longer just rural bandits, they're now the Cosa Nostra, our thing, a name that whispers of secrets and bonds stronger than blood.
So, they evolved?
Precisely. They transformed from a loose association of protectors into a structured organization, one with a hierarchy that would rival any corporate ladder. At the top, the capo dei capi, the boss of bosses.
And I suppose with structure came more control?
You hit the nail on the head. They infiltrated every aspect of society, from the cobblestone streets to the marble halls of power. They became the unseen hand guiding the fate of Sicily.
But how did they maintain such control?
Fear, Olivia. Fear and a network of loyalty that was unbreakable. They say the Mafia's reach was so vast, they could make a man disappear with a single nod.
That's terrifying.
It is, but it's also fascinating. The Mafia's influence wasn't just in the shadows. It was in plain sight. They built hospitals, funded charities, and were seen by some as Robin Hoods in sharp suits.
Robin Hoods who lined their pockets with the people's coin.
Exactly. They were complex characters, villains to some, heroes to others. And it's this complexity that makes their story so enthralling.
So what led to their downfall?
But we're getting ahead of ourselves again. The downfall is a tale for another chapter. For now, let's focus on their zenith, the height of their power, when the name Mafia became synonymous with Sicily itself.
I can't wait to hear more.
And you shall. But for now, let's leave our audience pondering the duality of the Mafia's legacy. Were they merciless criminals or misunderstood benefactors? That, dear viewers, is for you to decide. Now, let's dive into the heart of darkness, the core principle that held the Mafia together. Omertà, the code of silence. It's a code that's as Sicilian as the cannoli, and just as layered.
A code that's sweet and filled with cream?
Not quite. It's a code that's filled with loyalty and secrecy. To break it was to sign your own death warrant. But it's this very code that allowed the Mafia to operate in the shadows, unseen, unheard, but always present.
So, no one dared to speak against them?
That's right. Omertà wasn't just a rule. It was a way of life. It was the glue that held the Mafia's world together and the sword that kept everyone in line. It's said that even the walls had ears and the stones could whisper.
And nobody could escape it?
Few tried, and even fewer succeeded. It was a web of silence that ensnared the entire island. But it was also a source of power, a way to control without ever being seen.
Power from silence. That's a paradox.
Indeed, it is. But in the world of the Mafia, it was the silence that roared the loudest. It was the unspoken threats that were the most terrifying, and the promises never made that were always kept.
It's almost poetic.
Poetry written in the ink of fear. But as we'll see in our next chapter, even the strongest codes can be broken, and the mightiest empires can fall.
I'm intrigued. What could possibly break such a powerful code?
For that, you'll have to wait, but I promise it's a story worth waiting for. So, dear viewers, as we close this chapter, remember that in the world of the Mafia, silence is golden, but the truth is priceless. As the sun sets on the Sicilian horizon, we turn the page to a chapter that many thought would never be written, the fall of the Mafia. It's a tale of betrayal, justice, and the unyielding pursuit of truth.
Betrayal? That sounds ominous.
It was. For years, the Mafia seemed untouchable, their power absolute. But like Icarus, they flew too close to the sun. Their hubris became their downfall, as one by one, the untouchables became the convicted.
What caused this shift?
It was a combination of things. The winds of change were blowing through Sicily. The people grew tired of living in fear of the corruption that choked their society. And then there were the pentiti, the repentant ones.
Repentant mafiosi?
Yes, members of the Mafia who broke the sacred code of Omertà. They turned state's evidence, revealing the secrets of Cosa Nostra to the world. It was a crack in the dam that soon became a deluge.
That must have taken incredible courage.
Or desperation. The Mafia's code was breaking, and with it, their grip on Sicily. Trials began, and the once invincible bosses were led away in handcuffs, their empires crumbling like ancient ruins.
So justice finally prevailed?
In a way, yes. But the story of the Mafia is never black and white. It's a mosaic of gray, a puzzle where the pieces don't always fit neatly together. The Mafia may have fallen from power, but their legacy lingers like a ghost in the Sicilian streets.
A ghost of the past?
A ghost of the past, present, and perhaps even the future. The Mafia taught us that power can corrupt, but it also showed us the resilience of the human spirit, the desire for freedom and justice.
It's a powerful lesson.
Indeed, it is. And as we close this chapter, let's remember that while the Mafia's reign has ended, the stories, the lessons, and the spirits of those touched by their shadow will live on. As our tale reaches its end, we stand amidst the echoes of a bygone era. The Mafia, once a titan of power and fear, now a chapter in history books. But what is the legacy they've left behind?
A legacy of violence, or one of order?
It's a complex tapestry, woven with threads of brutality, cunning, and an unquenchable thirst for power. Yet, it's also a story of culture, of a people bound by an unwritten law that dictated their lives.
And what of Sicily now?
Sicily remains, as always, a jewel in the Mediterranean. The Mafia's shadow has receded, but it has not vanished. The island thrives, its beauty unmarred by its tumultuous past, its people resilient and proud.
Resilience. That's the true legacy, isn't it?
Indeed. The Sicilian spirit, indomitable. The Mafia sought to control, to instill fear, but the human spirit cannot be caged. It rises, like the phoenix from the ashes, to soar once more.
And the world watches, learns, and remembers.
Precisely. The world has witnessed the rise and fall of the Sicilian Mafia, a testament to the enduring battle between light and darkness, order and chaos, tyranny and freedom.
So, what's the final word on the Mafia?
The final word is this: the Mafia was a phenomenon, a force that shaped lives and bent the course of history. But in the end, it is but one chapter in the human story, a story that continues to be written every day by every one of us.
A story of hope.
A story of hope, of courage, and of the unyielding pursuit of a better tomorrow. And so, dear viewers, we leave you with this thought: the legacy of the Mafia is not one of fear, but a reminder of our capacity to overcome, to rise above, and to forge a path of righteousness.
Thank you, Noah, for this journey through the shadows and into the light.
And thank you, Olivia, for being the voice of our audience's curiosity. And to you, our viewers, thank you for joining us. Remember, history is not just about the past, it's a mirror reflecting our own times, our own choices.
So, let's choose wisely.
Until next time, keep seeking the truth and let curiosity be your guide.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from around the world.
If you love our artistic creations, pop over to our Patreon to purchase our exclusive image works. Thank you for your support.